Welcome everyone to the 2018 Lexus LS500, a car that competes against the like of BMW 7 Series, Audi A8s, and Mercedes S-Classes. This over $100,000 car packs a 3.4-litre twin-turbo V6, all-wheel drive, and enough luxury to question if you really could ask for anything more. Oh, but that's just where it starts, because this car you're looking at retails for $129,700. This Lexus has something that none of its competitors have, but I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. Let's go for a drive. Many thanks have to go to Lexus of Royal Oak that made this video possible. All of their information is in the description down below. In case you don't know the story of how Lexus began, look back in time to the LS400. This was the first ever Lexus, the car the president of Toyota at the time said to his engineers, "Make the best car in the world." Now, competing against big German names like that, players that have been in this space for a long time, the LS has to be something truly special to beat them out. In the cabin of this LS is where you can see your money being spent. Everything in here is soft leathers, firm switchgear, wood, and in this car, glass. This is Curaco glass. It's a $1,250 option, and it brings something to a car that you don't necessarily see. Using glass as a piece of art. All of the glass that you would think in a car is used simply to look out of. This is to be looked at. We have these 6 strips of magnesium that flow from one side of the dashboard to the other, and really cleverly integrated air vents. Perhaps the only hard plastics I can find in this entire car are behind the wheel here. As a super luxurious limousine, what should you expect? Well, you should expect a fantastic ride, and this is what the LS has. We have air suspension in this car with the most basic model. You will have coilovers. Of course, one of the greatest advantages to air suspension, it reacts to the road surfaces instantaneously, and it always tries to keep the ride incredibly level. But another thing this Lexus does is a high entry mode. So when you step in and out of the car, the air suspension raises to make it easier to get in and out of your seat. But then as soon as you start driving away, the car lowers again to make it more aerodynamically efficient. You can keep it raised if you want to by hitting this button here, but driving along you wouldn't really notice it. Maybe you would engage that if you were going over a bit of a gravelly bit of road or going through a puddle perhaps. Every time you get in and out of the car, the seats will get back into their starting position just so it's easier to get in and out. But not only do they do that, the seat belts come up to welcome you, to make buckling up an easier process. And then once you start rolling away, the seat belts tighten back down and the buckle slides down under the seat. Everyone's seating in an outboard seat in this car will be able to get heated, cooled, and massaged. The executive package that's in this car, I'll talk about again a little later, has the ability to give the rear passengers a hot stone massage. When you get into a car and you get a massage, it feels good, it feels like something's moving, but this one really does feel like it's putting work into your muscles. It's making them twist and turn. You do have the buttons on the side to control the major portions of the seat, like your length and height, the extendable thigh support, which is so long it can nearly comfort my knees, which is something I have never experienced in a car before. These are without question the best seats I've ever sat in. Lexus, if you want to sponsor me driving from coast to coast in this car, I'll happily take you up on that offer. Although it might not be the thing that separates this car from all of its competition, but it is a very large contributing factor, the looks. This Lexus looks amazing. It has a long and low bonnet with a short deck. The designers were inspired to make it more of a coupe-like design, although it doesn't suffer from that coupe-like roofline and really impeding on headroom. The spindle grille in this configuration has over 5,000 separate surfaces on it, and it took the designers nearly 6 months to get right on the computer. The only bash I can really give to the exterior design is the 20-inch wheels. I've never been a fan of chrome wheels. It always just seems a bit too much. If they left those slight touches of chrome on the body and then some satin wheels, I think it would look absolutely perfect. The LED light strips that you see up front, Lexus calls them lightsabers because they're so thin. This car actually rides on the same platform as the new Lexus LC. It's based on the global architecture luxury. And of course, comparing to the old LS, everything is different. I can't think of a single component that comes over from that car to this one. The wheelbase is actually 1.3 inches longer than the outgoing long wheelbase LS. There's only one wheelbase currently available with this LS, and if you complain about the legroom, then something's wrong with you. The layout of the interior is really smart, but it did take me a minute to learn where everything was. You have the 12.3-inch screen here that uses the Lexus touchpad interface. This is far more successful of a design compared to Lexus's mousepad system, but there is a lot to play with in this interface. You have all the controls for your seats in here. There's no physical buttons to turn on heated and cooled seats. You have to hit the seat button down here, and then it will take you to the adjustments for these 28-way seats, as well as the massage functions, and then, like I said, the seat climate. There simply isn't enough space to have that many physical buttons. When it comes to the design with the interior, we have these floating door cards that tease down the stitching of the leather within the door cards and the ambient lighting underneath. The center console will open from both sides, so anyone can access without difficulty. The 24-inch heads-up display is the largest in the entire industry. It displays a whole bunch of information related to driving, but then also it has a very clever system where it can look into an intersection for you. So maybe it's a blind corner, maybe you can't see someone coming from a T intersection. You'll get arrows on the heads-up display warning you that something is approaching. It has pedestrian detection as well, which at times has been too sensitive. It's thinking people are walking into the road where I'm still a good 3 meters away from the sidewalk. It's got all of the technology and the features that you'd expect, so I don't need to tell you about the safety systems and the 360-degree camera. When you're taking just a normal, relaxing drive, the engine, the wind rushing over, you can't hear any of it. This car is so silent, it could fool you into thinking it's electric. There is a hybrid model available, but we're not going to be talking about that today. If you do want to see a full video of the LS500H, let me know by hitting that like button. This all-new V6 is paired up to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and this is the definition of an imperceivable transmission. If you're going at regular pace, you're not trying to beat out anybody at the stoplights, you would never know this car is shifting gears. It is incredible. There's not much else to talk about the driving dynamics. It is a very long vehicle, so variable steering in here is much appreciated. You can change driving modes as well. This isn't necessarily a car you drive, but rather a car that you get driven in. So on that note, let's hop into the back seats because there is a lot to talk about back there. So if you're looking to buy a car that is in this class, you are more likely the kind of person that wants to be driven rather than driving it. So in the back seat of this LS, we're looking at a $27,000 option. But sorry, excuse me, driver, would you mind just slowing down just a bit? Sorry, I apologize. Thank you. Won't happen again, sir. Sorry. As I was saying, in the back seat here, you want to be in this one because you have so many things available to play with. Now, like I said, all the seats here can get heated, cooled, and massage backs and bums. But with these seats here, we can actually get a hot stone massage. And the way that you access all of this is with the touch screen down here. So if you hit relaxation, you can have the upper body refreshes or lumbar or really anything that you desire, and on 5 different levels as well. You can change around the intensity. But this here is what you're paying that $27,000 for. So if I go into the seat adjustments here, then if I hit the front seats here, the front side passenger seat is now folding away. And this can happen as you're driving. You don't need to worry about being at a stop, which is an absolutely fantastic feature. So now the seat is out as far as it can go. For me, being 6'4", I can just lightly put the base of my shoes at the air vent and I'm very comfortable. But it doesn't end there. Now you can enter this relaxation mode. I'm now leaning back, the seat is sliding down, and now if I hit this button here, I am now raising the ottoman. You can only get this with the exclusive package. So now I can really go across country and be very, very happy. If you are 6'4", you are going to have your feet pressing up against this, so it might get a bit grimy. I find myself most comfortable if I lean upwards ever so slightly, and then having that a little lower. That is the perfect position to me. Now, all the other things that you can play with back here, each screen is 11.6 inches wide. It can control all of the sound settings. It can stop the music playing up front if you don't want to listen to it. You can see the Curico cut glass is back here as well, and the floating door cards. It all looks absolutely marvelous. And then you have the Blu-Ray player down here as well. Ever wanted to play a Blu-ray, put it in there, lift up this portion here, and then you can plug in your USBs or your headphones and then truly waft away in this isolation chamber, which is the Lexus LS. I think the only fault being back here is that you don't have any kind of pass-through for skis or a fridge. Nothing like that is currently available with this car. But you see, you've got the cup holders right here. If you wanted to open up the sunroof, you just simply hit this button. You can look up to the beautiful blue skies that we currently have today. And then if you want a little more privacy, you can have the rear sunshade go up, or even the one right beside you. It covers all the glass, even that tiny little piece of quarter light here. That's barely, what, not even half a square foot? Absolutely fantastic. Really, you should be expecting this out of any car that is this kind of size and price point and mission. What is wrong with this space? Nothing, I tell you, nothing. Other things that you might want to look at here in the touch screen, so you can actually lock out things that the driver does if he was ever annoying you. You can also turn lights on and off here, so not only do you have a light directly above you, but you also have a reading light, so that can focus onto the space where you might be resting a book on your lap. If you're looking to buy a Lexus LS simply to be driven in, then you are going to be a very happy customer. What really marks the difference between this Lexus LS and its competition, I'm thinking Mercedes S-Class, BMW 7 Series, Audi A8, is that this has a quality that they don't. This has a character. And I'm not talking about the driving dynamics. It doesn't have a soul in the same way that a sports car would. This car features a design and a heritage that you're not going to find in a German vehicle. There's no routes to their German heritage in an Audi. But with this, you have the implement of the Japanese design, the Curico cut glass, and it feels like every time you get into this car, you're in a brand new environment every single time. So without question, the Lexus LS500 is a segment leader. I really do love this thing, and I'm really sad that I have to give it back to Lexus of Royal Oak tomorrow, because I desperately want to hold on to this thing for a very, very long time.